All right, awesome job. Ladies and gentlemen, bass players around the world, Detroit bass players in the house. Welcome to the basement, that's BASSMINT, except we ain't in the basement and we hanging out with my man. Tell us your name, sir.
My name is DeAndre D-Bass Thomas.
A heavy hitter in the house, finally got a chance to catch up with this guy. And thank you, man, for doing this, man.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And you sounded well, too, by the way.
Thank you.
And I'm excited, man. I got so many questions for you. So let me start off asking you this question. When did you start playing the bass and why?
I started at 10 years old in Detroit. I grew up on the east side. My first bass, I cut grass and saved bottles to get my first bass that I paid $12 for at 10. And it had 3 strings. And I bought that bass, and that's how I learned. And my first bass line was the shout and bump. Do-do-do-do-do-do. That was my first bass line. Second bass line was Bernie Miller. I learned how to play that, and I thought I could play. So that's what made me want to play. And the bass has always been the instrument that spoke to me out of all the instruments. The bass has always had that voice to me that just grabbed me every time, you know. I just loved it.
I can't take my eye off of this. What kind of bass is that you got there?
This is my signature prototype bass that I designed with Performance. This is a Performance bass. It's made in Hollywood, California. This is a D-bass model for this bass, so the specs is special. I had the bridge pulled back a little bit because I tuned different. I tuned down. So this string is A, D, A, D, G. So it's all open tuning. It's called Vasapu tuning, like a cello tuning.
Okay.
And I've been doing that on, decades now. I started doing this back in '89.
Why?
Because I was listening to gospel records and I heard a bass player called Andrew Boucher, and he was hitting one note that I couldn't hit on my bass, a low E flat. And I was wondering like how he did it. I didn't see him do it, so I just started experimenting with tuning one string down to it to see what the fingering would feel like, and I kind of liked the whole step down instead of that one step down.
Now that was on a 4-string.
I was on a 4-string, and I don't like to tune my whole bass down either, because I don't like that sound. I like to keep the continuity of the bass the way it's supposed to sound, but add extra lowness.
That is interesting. I would get confused, but I guess if you do it repetitiously, you get this little, again, A, D, A, D, G?
G, yeah. So, yeah, no B string.
Yeah, and gospel bass players love to go down to A.
Because of me.
On the B string.
Well, because of me, I was the first one to really be going down to A.
Right.
Nobody really was doing that.
And then all of a sudden, everybody is doing the A, tuning down to A.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was you, but thank you, bro. And another thing you did is me playing at my churches. We covering some songs that you played.
Oh, wow.
And I'm playing the bass, and then I was like, that's him on that song.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, wow, I'm playing another Detroit bass player's
That still freaks me out to this day.
Yeah, that's dope.
To hear songs on the radio or that I played on. That's still like, I still feel kind of proud about that. When bass players play the bass lines I played, and I hear them like when I used to go to church, I used to hear bass players playing the songs. That was kind of nice to hear that that they appreciate the bass lines to stick to the arrangements.
Yeah, please. I'm a big advocate. Put that bass, transcribe that bass line under your fingers. Feel what they feeling that made that record, and then make it your own. But feel what this dude. That's just how I feel about it.
I left a lot of blueprints. Like if you listen to the records, what I specialize in is the Detroit sound. So if you want to know about the Detroit sound as far as gospel, as far as funk or R&B or hip hop, and you hear one of my records that I played on, I'm leaving a blueprint for you to follow. But please take it and expound on it.
That's awesome. And that performance basses sound real good. How many basses do you have?
I have eight basses.
Do you still have that first 3-string bass that you had at the 10?
I don't have that.
What happened to it,
It probably got lost in one of the moves, I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was a cheap no-name bass from Sears or something like that.
That's crazy how we have no idea what happened to our first bass, you know what I mean?
I had my first professional bass, like that was a Fender Precision Special, Jazz Special. It was white.
Oh, was it the P and J pickup?
I got that like in '87.
With the precision fingerboard? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I love that bass, and I put MGs in
not
there.
fingerboard, pick guard. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I put MGs in there, and that was really the bass that got me on the map around Detroit.
We're gonna get to that, bro. I'm excited about that. But first, influences. Who are some of your influences / your favorite basses, or maybe even a Mount Rushmore? I don't know how you would answer that, but
Okay, well, when people ask me what my favorite bass players are, I have categories. I have Detroit bass players that influenced me first. Anybody from Detroit. Then I have the commercial bass players like Marcus Miller and Stanley Clarke that everybody love. I also love them all too. And I also love no-name guys that can really play. I've met a whole lot of guys from touring in these small little towns and stuff that can really play some bass. And some women too.
right. Okay. Guess that answers that. So, any other do you play any other instruments?
I play drums. I dab a little bit of guitar. I'm a songwriter, composer, producer, so I play a little bit of everything to write songs and produce. But I'm not fluent in everything.
Yeah.
Bass is my voice.
Right, and in that intro, I mentioned a lot of your projects, even your solo album called "I Am Who I Am," I think. Yeah, I was hoping you had a copy of that, cause I wanted an autograph. That's what I wanted a copy. But yeah, I listened to the tracks on a couple of them. Didn't get around to all of them, but I listened to them on YouTube. And we can talk about that. Who was your first band or like introduction to playing with others? When did that happen?
I grew up in church. I grew up on the east side of Detroit at a church called Pentecostal Temple around the Bishop Laster. I grew up with his son, Charles Laster, and another one of my comrades named David Modoc, who's passed away. He was the drummer, and Charles was the keyboard player. And he could also sing very well. And we started coming up playing together as a trio. And that's how I really broke into playing around them as a kid, coming up, learning.
Okay, good. Now, I'm really curious about this. When did you get introduced to the professional, like this is really happening? When did it hit you? How did you get into the professional bass playing?
In high school, I think it was like 87, is when I first started getting hired to play bass. Like I started at Second Ebenezer Baptist Church with Michael Mendengal. He started hiring me to play, concerts and stuff for the youth every, two times a year. So that's what got me to start, making money doing it. That was my first little like gig or whatever. Then I started building on that and just started picking up churches here and there and other groups and stuff, and just like making a name for myself, doing little things like that, and that led to me getting the Clark Sisters.
The first family of gospel in Detroit. That had to be a nice introduction to get to play with them.
Yeah, it was. I started doing little spot dates with them on the weekends and stuff. I had to get permission from my father because I was like 16, and I was traveling and flying on the weekends. And that was a great experience. Also, that taught me a lot working with them. And then I also became permanent because after that, a few years after that, they took me to their mother, Maddie, and Maddie hired me to play with them permanently.
Right, so you could be with Eddie Clark.
Yeah, I actually was with them for like 10 years after that.
And by the way, gospel is my first love, and it's the only music that brings out emotions in me that sometimes I can shed a tear, only because they sound so beautiful. It's, to me, the singers are beautiful sounding, and then it evokes emotions out of me.
Yes, it does, which gospel music is lacking that today. Most people go back to the 90s to get that feeling now, like we used to do when I was young. We used to go back to the 70s to get that feeling, but yeah, they need to change that. There needs to be more creativity in the music. And we need to stop using like key bass on everything. I mean, key bass is good for some things, but bass will never die in gospel. It'll always be needed in gospel.
And the bass players in gospel are some of the most creative dudes. And I appreciate gospel allowing them to be to stretch out, unlike these other genres. But I'm like you. I'm old school because gospel has turned. I call it the new R&B.
Yeah, it is. But I had a lot to do with that because since I couldn't be out there getting those gigs, I brought that style to gospel. So I just made the gospel thing what I wanted to do out there. I just made the gospel thing back.
Yeah, and it's evident that that's what happened. It is definitely evident.
Oh, also, you said my influences from Detroit.
Yeah.
Kern is definitely an influence. I listened to him a lot when I was coming up and mimicked his style. I would say I'm one of his sons. One of his sons on bass.
That's my boy.
Yeah, I love Kern and Valdez. So I learned a lot from them. I learned how to be a performer on the big stage from them, and how to conduct yourself as a professional out there from them.
Well, what's your approach to just being the best you on the bass that you can be?
Well, the first thing I would say is my tuning. My tuning, the way I tune, it gives me my own little sound and texture in whatever I play. I could do things that if you tune regular, you wouldn't even think of doing. So it expands your horizons a little bit by tuning this way. I used to practice 8 hours a day when I was a teenager. I sacrificed playing sports, but I still played sports, but I quit playing sports to be a professional bass player full time. I just put all my energy into that. So I practiced 8 hours a day when I was young. And then that slowed down as I started to get work and people started to know my name. And my practices, I just used to practice feels, different feels on songs. Like Nathan East, anything he plays has a great feel. You know, so I just practice like textures, like tone, trying to see how to make a track or a song relax from the bass end. It was not all tense and you just rushing stuff, and just really relaxed. The tone was nice and big and mellow, and you can hear it and it's clear. You know, so I really concentrated on things like that because I wanted to be a recording bass player. So that's what I trained to be, a recording bass player. So I worked on my reading, I worked on different scales, modes, jazz concepts, gospel concepts, which I learned from a guy named Dana Davis. I learned a lot of gospel recording concepts rhythmically with drums and bass from him. And he played on a lot of those records with me. The Ron Winans album and the Donnie McClurkin album that won a Grammy was a product of what I learned from him as far as the recording concepts of contemporary gospel. You know?
Yeah, and when you was out there, okay, you done a lot of recordings, man. We talked about that at the beginning of this, but out of all of those recordings, you got to be a part of Grammy nominations, Stellar Awards, Dove Awards, Billboard Awards, top 10 list. Some of my favorite gospel people, Kim Burrell, Donnie McClurkin, of course, the Wine is Ron, and also you recorded in other genres too, like jazz and what else?
R&B. I did some pop. I did a lot of commercials out there that I not know I did. Did some jingles. Yeah, playing on some soundtracks. Did a lot of TV things.
Right. Now, I was looking for a clip. I know for a fact that you played bass with DMX, the rapper, may he rest in peace. And you was on Saturday Night Live with DMX, right?
Yeah.
Who else are some of the people that you hit the road with? Like, tell me something.
Like the secular people or gospel?
Both.
Well, the gospel, I pretty much have worked with just about all the gospel artists.
Okay.
Like back in the day, like Yolanda Adams and Kirk and, the regulars. I pretty much have worked with them on some aspect of either recording, touring, or concerts.
Right.
So we've done something. But I've worked with Shirley Caesar,
the legend.
Andre Crouch, Sandra Crouch. I worked with them for a year. Let's see who else. The Emotions.
The Emotion?
Yeah, The Emotions. Yes, I played with them on a few things. Played with Shanice Wilson.
I love you. What was that?
Smile, yep. Worked with her and Flex. And their mother, Crystal Penny, she now sings with The Emotions now. And she has a group. I work with them. And that was all out in California. And I've toured with the Gap Band, toured with the Clark Sisters, toured with the Winans, toured with Michael Brooks from Commission and Witness. I've also toured with, I worked with James Cleveland before he died. I did a recording with him right before he died. What else? Richard Smallwood, Donald Lawrence, Kurt Carr.
Jesus Christ, bro! You named it all my.
I work with all of them.
That I didn't know.
Aretha Franklin, I can't forget her.
Wow.
Yeah, I work with Aretha.
Out of all them people that you named gospel, you was in the secular tours too. You went on the road with Missy Elliott. That had to be like dope.
Yeah. Well, I got that from a guy named Eric Seitz. He's now the musical director for Patti LaBelle. and he's a drummer. And he called me and asked me, did I want to do that? Just out the blue. Somebody recommended me. I seen a friend of mine, Dante, from California. He's a bass player, and he was playing with Missy at first. And I sat in with him at a club. They was visiting Detroit. Sat in with him and played, and he saw me and heard me. And he went back home and told Eric, I guess. And Eric called me for that gig, off of that. So that's how I got that. And from that Missy gig, I got the DMX gig because that was the same band.
Oh, okay.
It was the same Missy band.
Being a heavy hitter, you know, for those who don't know what a heavy hitter is, can you explain it? What a heavy hitter?
A heavy hitter to me is somebody who takes their career serious and takes every gig serious, and they do a lot of big things, and they got a good name about themselves, and they carry themselves well as a musician.
Yeah, and the heavy hitter, yeah, you don't have to be with celebrities.
No.
You can still be a heavy hitter because you working and
You could be a heavy hitter if you could just play. If you can kick, you a heavy hitter to me.
Do you have any advice for anybody that's trying to get to a high level as a high level bass player? And what recommendations do you have? Any?
Well, what I did, it was a different time when I came up. You know, we didn't have all the help that they have today.
Ooh, yeah.
With the online stuff. So I really had to first play well. You have to practice. You have to play well. You have to retain things. You have to remember songs. You have to have total recall on a lot of things very quickly. Got to get you on a lot of big sets if you can do that and be on time.
Are you playing with anybody right now? What you doing right now?
Right now, I'm kind of semi-retired from gospel. I don't play gospel anymore or do any gigs anymore. I record sometimes for certain people, but pretty much retired. But I'm playing with a band called We Bone right now. We got a show tomorrow, actually. We're doing the show in Ferndale. That'll be at like 7 o'clock. We're doing the show. And we stay pretty busy. We do a lot of the festivals around here. I still record a lot. A lot of my friends still send me records to play on. Still play on a lot of smooth jazz records. People still send me stuff. I'm always working on things, yeah.
Any notable solo projects coming out or We Bone?
We Bone is working on the project. I'm also in the process of getting my creative team together to start working on a second project. I think I'm gonna go a different direction from that project that I put out. I'm gonna probably go a little bit more funkier. Mm-hmm. Yeah, more bassy, funky. Yeah.
That's good. So I ain't want to keep you, you know that.
Oh man, I got time. I love talking about this stuff.
I wanted to talk about the burning questions that people have for you. And here's the platform for you to get that out, man, because I'm going to try to get everybody to watch it. So,
okay, a lot of people ask about the Perfecting Church recording, Perfected Praise album, Marvin Winans. That album was very groundbreaking. It was very innovative because a lot of things were the first. Like in Detroit, we really wasn't using the 5-string bass like that. So that was really my first recording using the 5-string. And that was Fender's first version of a 5-string. Okay. Yeah, that was their first year using it, like putting it out there.
What year was that?
That was 92.
Okay.
91, 92, around in that era. And that was around the time where bass players were still like, I'll play 4-string, I don't play 5-string. And then, you know, it was that little thing going on, you know, who play 4 or who play 5. So I decided to switch totally to 5-string, and it was because of that record. The approach to that record was we had total creative control from Marvin Winans. The band arranged that whole record. he let us do everything we wanted to do. Like, that's why I think the album is successful, because he actually let us be creative.
And the name of the album again?
The Perfected Praise Church Choir album, Marvin Winans.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna take a listen to that. Anything else that they like to know that I forgot to ask you?
About that project though, what was also a first was using the MPC drum machine on a choir church album.
Oh, okay.
That was the first. We was the first to really introduce that.
And not a whole drum set.
Well, we had a drum set, but we was playing with the drum machine live.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the innovation that
Yeah.
they was not doing on church choir albums.
Okay, yeah, I you know what, I did used to see the drummer have a whole MPC.
Yeah, Skeeter Mario Winans started that, bringing the MPC drum machine to church service.
I did not know that, man.
Yeah, that's where that happened at. And what was special about that band is everybody in that band was a producer.
Do you have social media?
Yeah.
All that good stuff? What you got?
On Facebook, I'm Ariel Ben Israel. You can follow me on Facebook, and I'm D Basios, that's DBASSIOZ on Instagram. D Basios. And you can follow me on those two platforms. If you want to get my music, my album's on all the digital platforms. You can find it, listen to it, or buy it or whatever. Most of the old projects that I played on, you can find on YouTube. All the choir records, the Ron Winans, Perfected album, they're on there. And yeah, easy to find.
My last question, man. And it's been a pleasure. I want you to know that. In all honesty, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Is there anything that you would like to say in closing?
Yeah, for the young bass players, keep your head up, always be confident, and take all gigs serious, no matter whether it's a small gig, a church gig, a wedding, or anything like that. Always take it serious, learn the music, know your part, be prepared, be on time, and you'll move up, because it happens in waves. And you got to study to show yourself approved in everything. So even in playing the bass, you have to show yourself approved. So if you put the time in, you practice, you listening, you learning the concepts, you working on it, you're going to move up. It's definite you're going to move up in time. You just keep being consistent. That's all you got to be.
Keep persevering, don't give
Keep
up.
persevering, don't ever give up. In fact, this is a funny story. A lot of them awards I didn't even know I had for a long time, because I was busy working and making sure the music was tight, making sure the stuff I'm telling y'all to do, I was doing. And I didn't even know I had won some of these things. Then by the time I look up, wow, I have this, I have that, this went that did this, and that's how it happens when you're serious about your craft. So always be serious about your craft as a bass player, and stick with it, never quit.
Okay, well, with that said, man, I'd like to thank you very much for being a part of this. Detroit Bass Players in the Basement, that's BASSMINT, except this is not a basement, we hanging out in the lovely city of Canton. And I live in Westland, which is like 10 minutes away. So again, I want to thank you, and can you just play us out, brother? Give us some. Is my green light still on?